Hey, how you doing? Let's do it to it. Okay, dokie. We are going over a game between Timur. Actually, Wesley versus Timur. Well, Timur didn't win this. Sadly, it should have went to a draw, but a missed opportunity. It was an interesting game nonetheless, and it was from the U.S. Championship. And it was interesting to say the least because uh, yeah, we're just gonna have to see. It's like cool. That's me. Before check. This is the Catalan Open in D A Castles. Knight F3, B3 Castles, and then Bishop A6. This was an interesting idea. Attacks the pawn, which actually forces E5. Well, it does force two moves. Potentially, you could play B3. That's an idea. B3 is an idea. Or let me see here. You could try blasting away right here. But then Timur gets a free pawn, so Wesley wouldn't do that. Wesley played knight to e5 to guard this pawn. And at this point, there's actually an odd line that goes d6. And at this point, you could potentially go in with knight d3, bishop takes, and then knight would take at this point. And you're still holding on, but your knights are kind of awkwardly, they're wonkily placed. So, and you gotta be careful here too, because the rook would be after this. I apologize, I missed that. The rook is actually on pre, so he has to move that. So we gotta delete all those notes. We'll have to delete that because rook a7 is forced at this point. Bishop takes, a takes, and then queen a4. Kind of playing for some attacks. c5 is in this line basically more likely forced. You have to play c5 to hold this pawn. And man, he got pressured really early by Wesley. A takes B, knight takes, and rook c7. So I gotta say, he handled the pressure really good. C takes D, B takes C, and now this bishop kind of could play bishop to B7 too. So rook A C8, and he went for Berserkoid. That is an interesting move for sure. You could actually play bishop here, and if trades, he has an attack there on that game. That would be interesting. Here. But he played d5, trying to crack the center open. e5. And then d4 was played. And he's got a pass pawn, but it's just kind of not as good as I'd like. B4 to undermine it. FD7. Knight takes. Queen takes. Queen takes. Knight takes. And then B takes was actually a dubious move. This was actually Wesley's best opportunity. It was a missed opportunity in the game. They both have protected pass pawns, but it's all, yeah. Oh, any positional. Oh, well, we're going over Wesley Soas White versus Timur, and he's playing as black. He lost this game, but it could have went towards a draw. It was an interesting. Yeah, it was all based on a misplacement of the knight on I think it was move 40. I believe it was move 40. They missed. He moved his knight up the board instead of down the board, and he would have gotten a draw from Wesley, which would have been good. Oh, nice. Yeah, those are nice. Those are great players to play against. You can learn a lot from IMs. Yeah, I should know. They're good. I mean, they're pretty. Yeah, they're good to play. Knight takes c5, e5, and so this. But it was interesting that Wesley allowed kind of these kind of this to go like this. I understand, but kind of in my opinion, I feel it's slightly drawish here. I don't like play for both sides at all. I think with proper play it would turn out to be a draw. This is a weak point too, so I was just wondering why Wesley just didn't grab this. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is this would have actually won a piece, a pawn. I mean, I believe, and I'm just thinking different for sure. Like potentially maybe. Well, I think Wesley's up one whole pawn. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there's a fork here. That's the reason. Yeah. Yeah. I was just trying to. I knew there was a problem. I just had to remember what Maurice and Jennifer were talking about. They and Yazir, they were talking something about this, and they were going between so many games. I tried to do Chess 24 so I can look at one game and keep on one game. I like listening to them, but I sometimes like following one or two games just to keep an eye on what's going on. Otherwise, I lose track of where things were, and it's like, because there's so many wonderful games going on. It's just, when you get interested in one, you want to follow it to the end. Yeah, that is good. Let's see here. So that makes sense why Wesley didn't take then. It's tempting for sure. E5, and then the knight goes B4, B3, knight B3, rook A B1. I hope Timur pulls it together because he's a really good player. I like his games. Very tactile. He's very tact. He attacks and he's all in. So I hope he pulls a win on one of them because I know the win he's going to pull on is going to be a really good one. Bishop f1. Bishop takes. Okay, so yeah, there's two attackers, two defenders. Oh, pin. Yikes. Yeah, d3 is a vital. This move is right here the only thing that saves, but bishop takes wins the pawn back because you can't take otherwise. I guess you could take, couldn't you? Because tactically it does work with here. Well, I guess you do win a piece. You would win a surprise. Whoa, you mean he was actually up a piece here? Yeah. But wow, oh, I guess, oh, I see. This is why it's equal. Okay, I thought for some reason I was looking like he's a piece up. Nope, that takes care of that right there. Cause Kazam right there. But yeah, this should either be it's a draw more likely. Cause I actually prefer surprisingly white in this line. I like white's active rook, and I like white's knight. Hey Frank, how you doing? We're going over a Wesley as white and Timur as a black game. They had a really interesting end game. That's the reason I was actually going to do it. Was the end game night before, and it Timur worked it out all the way to a checkmate. So we're gonna get to see. It's rare to get to see those. Knight d4, and it's trying to take scope on that. Hey, how you doing? Rook d7. Yeah, it was kind of odd. I didn't understand back here why he played f6. I kind of can see why he didn't want Wesley would have gotten a bind here. I guess you could have tried something maybe like h5 f4 and then this would be a pretty big headache, but I really don't see any way that white can break it down. I think f6 just compromised his position. Oh, Khrushchev, yeah. I gotta say, Alexander is a good endgame player. So it's sad that he's missing from the tour, the Grand Tour this year. But he'll get back in it next year. Knight at e4. So rook f8. This is kind of an this is going to be a headache to try to protect. Knight c5. See, now it comes under fire. Oh. Well, then it's always good to take a break. e8. because you don't ever want to get burned down. That's chess is about fun. He'll get all tooled up and ready to go. G5, G4, and H. So that's King G3, Knight G6, F4. Knight F8 this is a pretty interesting line because now you're protecting the pawn twice. Rook C7, H6, H4, Rook A8, and now he's trying to infiltrate into the back rank, get some counterplay on the king. H5, A3, King F2. He played Rook H1. I actually do like Rook A2, and if here, I'm thinking with this weak sore spot in my position, the E6 pawn, I'd be happy kind of with a perpet. So and I'm thinking this slightly might be winning for white in that line. So I think Tamura saw that. Rook C3, 94. This would have been an interesting move here, to say the least. And if he really has to, then could he do? He'd have to play king here, and I'm trying to see what could actually be played. Maybe A4. If knight there, then check. Yeah, you're kind of in a pickle there. So because now this is double attack, and you're gonna lose a pawn, so that wouldn't work very good. Yeah, Wesley missed this. This is actually, I believe, winning a. No, it's not winning a pawn because you do have Rook D6, but who wants to play passive like that, right? A2, E. Now this actually, surprisingly, this is a mistake. Tactically, it loses. So. Yeah. I'm more like an aggressive go-getter player. I want to take the initiative and dominate from the beginning. That's kind of my style of play. It's what gets you to top level for sure. Rook A8, King E7. So now that Black's king gets active, I think Wesley had a slight lead, very slight, when the king was back here, but letting the king out wasn't the wisest of decisions. Ooh, so he locked down the position. Oh yeah, this was the mistake, right? Was it here? Was it? No, this wasn't it. This after takes. East 4. This was still okay. It was yeah. Right here's the move, and then after takes, this was what they were talking about being played, was how do you get these two pawns going. If you try this, that actually loses. So here, and if he tries to come around, I guess you got to be careful there. You basically would have to let me see, how could you actually get this going? Trying to see, so maybe you wouldn't want that. I'm thinking this might actually be winning for white here. I think this was a slight inaccuracy. Yeah, that is, well, no, it's a draw. So taking, let's see, takes. Ah, there's the reason. Okay. And now it's winning for black because he can't stop it. Okay, I knew there was something about that there, so it was the pawn push that we were looking at. Gotcha. But d6 loses another way. King d6. It first of all, you do a check here. Oops, I think, let me see. Oh no, sorry, you take here, that's right. And then after takes here, first of all you check, king takes, and then let's see here, g4, that's right, or g7. And this is the problem pawn right here. After you take, oops, sorry, not that. There. Okay, yeah, here, king g, h1, g2, h4, queen, and then he takes. And now this is the fork is what wins this pawn. d6 and then takes. Rook f8, f5, rook f5, and then queen g2 was actually kind of dubious. It was this move right here. It's hard to find, but this is a it holds because then you get to play e5 and get your piece down the board further. Queen h6, and then you'd have to come up here, and potentially you have some play that you'd have to be careful. You can walk around the rook a little bit. So, and you eventually have to get your king involved. You can play up there to attack. It comes down, comes here. How do you make any progress? You know, king g3, king d6, king g, king d5, queen f. And this was this lost to the pawn, so this holds on to, slightly holds on to it, because you're still losing. c6, b, f5, king check was. This is actually the we're thinking this was the best move here. Oops, not there. Attacking the queen, and then b4, and then so at b4 you have here, and then you have to make your rounds. And you got to be careful that you don't get sideswiped. So. Yeah, this was actually, surprisingly, this was the best line here. And then if you try to get some attack via there, or E, you can go D4, rook there, and then you have to keep your rook and king together, otherwise what happens is you're going to lose. And this move separated the rook. Mate 44. And mate in 1. It's an interesting endgame study how to win with a queen versus rook. So if you're ever interested in that, that'd be a good one to look at for that. So are we ready? Alrighty, let's do it to it. Let's amp it up. Oh boy, let's see here. Let's see if we play G takes F3, Rook takes F3, Bishop B1 is interesting. Maybe Bishop. Maybe we can actually play Bishop B1 right now. I'm looking at that move because that if the queen moves, then we actually have a pretty good position if the queen moves. So yeah, Bishop B1. If queen, what can the queen do? Let's say it stays intact with the rook. Queen C6. Well, then I guess we get mate. Queen takes G6 check. King goes to G8. Queen H7 check. King F7. And then Bishop G6 check. I don't think that would work. So you're thinking G takes F, knight takes F. Well, if G takes F3, knight takes F3, you do have Bishop B1 at that point. That's pretty strong. What are you thinking about? Let me see. G takes F, knight takes. So I was looking more at if we took here, G takes F3, Rook takes F3. That's kind of what I was looking more at, more towards this type of setup there. And then bishop b1 would be able to be thrown in there again. Yeah, I'm thinking I have to agree with you on taking there. Now we have to take scope. Do we want to play bishop b1 right now? And rook takes g2. Bishop b1. Rook takes g3. Bishop takes e4. And rook takes h3 check. And then king. See, if we play queen g2, rook takes h3 check. I'm wondering if, I know this is kind of a weird move, queen takes g6 check. If king take, or if, I guess that wouldn't be a good move because the knight could take back. So scratch that. There is, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking you're right. Let's see. See, queen g2, rook takes h3, bishop h2, knight. Yeah, I'm thinking queen g2. I'm liking queen g2. Oh, don't tell me it's not this. Not, nope, not that. Okay, not that. That was different. Yeah, 2,900. Close. Wow. Yeah, we'll get it. Don't worry. We'll get it back. Let's see here. We have 2, check. King H3. Rook takes G5. F takes G5. Then Queen F3. So, just trying to see, are we missing anything at first? Let's see. Oh, bishop F. Okay. Let me see here. I'm wondering though if we don't play rook takes G5 right now, because that's with check. Because I'm thinking that if we wait, he has moves that he could actually play to attack our king. So I'm wondering if we don't just grab the rook right now. Like just throw in rook takes G5, check, F takes G5, then Queen F2, check, King H3, Queen F3, check, King H4, and then Queen E7 is mate, I believe. Not Queen E7, sorry, Bishop E7. Bishop E7 is mate, I believe. Let me. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. The pawn's here. So it's here, and then Queen F2 is mate. Yep. There we go. See, if we did the other move, it's not with check, so we have to do it with check. Let's see why it doesn't work. What in the world? Oh, right here. Okay. Yep, that's right. King h1 is actually the move that saves the day here. And there's no more checks, so they're winning. That's why. Okay. Makes sense. I kind of saw king h1. So I was like, there has to be something wrong. We had to go for the knockout fast and hard. Okie dokie. Let us begin our analysis here. Boy, this queen is really overloaded. This queen on f3 is really overloaded, I gotta say. So if there was a way to potentially win material, that'd be nice. So rook f5, lost the protection on let me see here. I'm looking at potentially excuse me, if we play rook takes e4, if queen takes e4, then we have queen g4. If queen f4, we have rook e1 check. Yeah, that is a that also could work too. Queen e7 check. He has really two spots to go to. King d5 or king d4. That's where he can go to, those two spots. So let's see, king d5. We can actually check with our rook. I think it's the d rook we're wanting to check with. Oh yeah, I guess he could do that too. But I'm not really liking that. I really didn't even consider that because I don't know if that's like queen e7 check, king f4, rook takes e4 check, queen takes e4, and I'm thinking potentially we may, well, wait a second. We actually have mate. My bad. Just hold on. Actually, let's still take. If king f4, do we have queen to c7 check here? And then he'd have to move to king to g4. That would be interesting. And then you can separate the king via potentially not sure. This is kind of different for sure. Let me see here. King d5. Well, Queen e7, King d5, Rook a d1 check, and Rook d4. And then Queen e6, I believe is mate, I believe. So d4 is forced. The other one would be mate, so now I believe we win a rook, don't we? Don't we win a rook here? I think I calculated rook. Oh, you win a. Oh, you win a rook. Okay, rook takes e4. Check. Queen takes e4. Rook d1. Check. If king e3. Rook e1 check. Okay, gotcha. I'm wondering if we don't play queen takes e4 here. I'm wondering if we don't play queen takes e4. Well, no, that wouldn't work because he can actually hold on. So it has to be rook. It would have to be rook takes. Got to be careful on this one. So rook takes rook takes e4 check. King d3. King d3, then I'm wondering if we don't play rook a d1 check here, because I don't see a win for rook takes e4. I don't see a win. I'm thinking that rook a d1 check, king c3, king c3, and then we have queen. Well, I guess would that be mate? Huh? Maybe I'm missing something. I might be missing some. Queen g5 is mate. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Rook takes c4, king d3. Let's just take a quick look at queen takes e4. Let me see. Queen takes e4. Queen takes e4. Rook ad1. King c3, and then rook takes the queen at that point. Yeah. Okay, queen takes e4, check. Queen takes e4. Well, no, that wouldn't work. No, queen d3. Ah. I'm trying to make. Let's see. Rook takes e4. How do we make? Well, rook takes e4. King e3. Maybe we'd have to go back to rook e1, rook 4 e1 at that point, just to hold everything together. I'm gonna go with the rook. That's the only thing I see. I gotta see the. I don't think it's a draw, because the queen covers the square. I'm not sure it's a draw. Come on. Let's see. What is the computer say the best? Okay, king d3. We already planned that out. I'm thinking that this right here. Oh, d6. Okay. Queen d6. If king takes here. Okay, then rook e1. Okay, rook e1. That's mate. e3 is forced. And then king takes, and we end up winning. Queen e6. Okay, so it's this move here. After that, it's queen check. He's forced to take, and we play here, and this is covered. That's covered. That's covered. Oops, not that. Let's do it again. Here, 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 and there. So the only move that is playable is here. Okay. That's interesting line. So king takes g7. Oops, I don't want to do a hint, so let's keep that over there. Let's see here. Queen e5. I'm trying to see here. So queen e5 check, f5 check, f6. What do you do after that? That's interesting. If we try checking, he just goes to f7. So there's nothing we can do. Yeah, g3 is a line that I've been kind of looking into. Okay, so what you're thinking is, and what we're thinking is queen e5 check, f6, rook g3 check, king f7 forced, queen h5 check, and king e7, rook g7 check, rook f7, and then rook, or sorry, queen takes f7 is mate. I'd probably say that bishop takes knight at that point. So right here, yeah. Well, you got that. So bishop takes knight, e takes f. So, yeah. And then the queen guards the pawn. Ooh, not good. Not good at all. Oh, did I put the wrong number? Did I do the wrong number? Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So it does, Queen e5 is a good move. Yeah. Let's see the continuation of that. This interests me. That was cool. Let me see here. Queen b4, check c5. Then we have queen h4. So, okay. Queen b4, check. I have c5, queen h4, check. I have king e8. What do we do at that point? So probably the knight to, knight e, so rook d, we do have rook d1. Does that, trying to figure this one out. This one's a little kind of odd. Oh, I get it. I kind of get it now. It's kind of, I think it's a draw. This reminds me of a big time draw right here, because I'll show you some. This I think is a draw, because if we play Queen H 5 check, he can never go King D8. He can't go King D8 ever because of Rook D1. Because of Rook D1, and that pins the Queen to the King by a Rook. So he would have to go up and down the board. Are you? Can you guys still hear me? Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so what do you think? I'm thinking that this is the line here. That was just if he went King D8, so he's not going to do that. Paste. Queen F7. Interesting. Queen B4. Let's see, 5. Queen H. That would do it, wouldn't it? But I think a rook could then intercept as well. Maybe I'm missing some. Queen B4 check. C5. Queen H4 check. King E8. Knight E4. F takes E4. Queen H5 check. Rook F7. So not sure. Well, we may go Queen B4 check, and then king e8 could actually be played here. So I see what you're saying, yeah. So the starting move is queen b4 then, right? Is the starting move queen b4? That's what I'm thinking it is. Queen b4 is the start. Let's see. Do you have any other starting move you're looking at? Yeah, 92 at that point. And that's actually even better for us if he goes to f2. Because then we get our knight into its optimum placement. So are we all in on b4 check? Okay. Let's do it then. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Let's see why our idea fails. There has to be a reason. I don't think it wins anything. Let's see here. Okay. That's the reason. It's kind of all over the board. It doesn't know what to do. Ah, ouch. That hurt. Okay, so first glance, queen takes g6, check. King f8. So that's an interesting line. So queen takes g6. King has only one move, f8. Knight e6. Queen takes e6. Rotakes. Rotakes. Let me see if this is right. Queen takes g6. Check. King f8. Knight e6 check, rook take, queen takes, e6, rook takes f6, e takes f6, rook takes f6, queen takes f6, queen takes f6 check. So this would be check. This would be check. Yep. Because he's threatening to cause some damage there, so yeah, our pawn is protected, so we don't have to worry really about that. I'm thinking about changing my line to knight takes h5. See, knight takes h5, rook d6, knight takes f6, rook takes f6, rook takes f6, e takes f6, and rook takes f6, check, queen takes f6, and then queen takes f6 check. This is a better line for us. Knight takes is a better line. Oh, the Ravi. Oh shoot. Why did I pick up the wrong one? Why did I do that? I have no idea. I can't believe that. I picked up the wrong piece. I gotta not do that. I thought I was too far, I was thinking too far ahead of myself. I'm gonna have to, when we get a set line, follow my line of on the thing here. Sometimes I think way too fast, and then I already think I moved one. So Gotta stay in my game. Stay in our game. I know. I did. Yeah. Okay, let's see. We'll get it back, don't worry. Let's gotta so I make sure everything's streaming okay. Alright, perfect. Okay. Alright. Ice cold, no mistakes. That's what we need to be. Let's see here. What are we missing? Let's see. Knight takes g6. H takes g6. Queen takes g6. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure this out. H5, G5. Oh, I see. Yeah. Let's see. H5, F takes E5. H takes G6. Yeah, and then E4. You could just play. Yeah, I was looking at knight takes G6. So G6. Queen takes G6 check. queen. G7. Trying to look to see if there's any other routes. Like, no, you're not wrong. Not a problem. So knight takes G6, H takes G6, and then rook takes E6. If queen takes E6, then we have queen takes G6, and we have a draw. Oh yeah. But okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. It's mate. Okay, knight takes G6. H takes G6. Just 1 second. Rook takes E6. What if he doesn't take though? What if he plays queen G7? What if he plays queen G7? Oh, we win the knight. We win the knight back. Okay, that wins. We win the knight back at that point. Yeah. Okay, so that is the right move. Vaguely remember this one. A3. What's the line continuation though? Do we have a line? Because we don't want to just do one move. What happens if rook C3 check? Did we move up the board? So a3, rook c3, check, king b at 2, rook c2, check, then king b1, and then now we have king to c3, king c3. Oh, you go back, okay. C3, king c3 up, there. Oh, I got it. We have to push. Ah, am I wrong? Hold on. Oh, it's a, you gotta go up. Oh, man. Drat. Darn it. I was so close. I thought for sure that was my fault there. Okay, so up. And then it comes here, and then now we're gonna queen. Okay, body check. To draw. I don't know what I missed there. I'm sorry about that, guys. That was my fault. Ugh. Not good. So, okay. Alright, so 2800. I should have calculated a little farther out. Okay, I want to see what would happen with the pawn push. Come on, upload our thing. Whoa, what in the world? It's going backwards. My move would have been a draw too. I don't understand. Huh. I don't understand that. That's just peculiar. I thought it was a draw. It looked. I saw a prior puzzle that actually moved the pawn, and then it was a draw. But or gone up the board, pushed it and then gone up the board. But it's okay. I now know you have to do it that way. So okay. Let's not make any more mistakes here that we will let's see, queen. I think we've had this one. I'm not sure if we've had this one before. Queen, d8 check, king, h7. And then bishop, d3 check, g6. So queen d8. So what are you thinking, guys? Not sure? Did you do you think queen d8? I don't think it is. I have an idea here. If you're interested, if you guys would like to see, it's d8 check, king h7, and then bishop f1. We could potentially be doing that right away. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Bishop f1 right now would be actually really good, wouldn't it? Well, I think so. Let me see. Let's see. Bishop f1, rook 7 e5, rook takes rook takes h3, queen takes. a3, rook takes d5, rook takes, I think it's losing, rook takes h4. I think it might be losing. I see what you're saying, yeah. Oops, wait a second. Ooh. And then yikes. Shoot. Alright. Just had to get it right in my brain. Come on. We gotta pull this together. We gotta pull this together. Let's do it. Not move till you see it. Don't move till you see it. Okay, we're looking at queen e3, yeah. Queen e3, check. King h4, king h4, g5, check. King h5. We have actually queen h4. Yeah. Then bishop e1 and then f1. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Yep. So rook f2, check. If bishop g2, bishop g2. So you rook f2, and if bishop g2, rook takes g2, check, king takes g2, c6, check, if king h2, and then queen f2 is mate. So rook f2 check, bishop g2, rook takes g2, king takes g2, bishop c6 check, and oh, he can actually run at that point. Yikes, that's not good. He can actually run, doesn't have to go back. Hold on, let me re-put that in. It's a good thing we went over it. Bishop c6, and then king f1. I don't like that. King f1, so not to my likings. But we're still down loads of material, so it doesn't merit we have to go for a mate. Ah, you're right. Yep, that's right. It does work then. Hooray! Hurrah, hurrah. Okay. So king f. Queen f3, check. King g1, and then queen g2 is mate. Okay, perfect. So rook takes, king takes, check. If it comes there, check. It comes over, check. Hooray, all right. Good job, good job. We're back in it, we're back in it. Okay, we're back in it. Oh boy, not another one of these. But hey, you're blessed with what you get, right? Trying to see, is there a way to draw in this line? You have to kind of go through a calculation thing to see. Rook takes f1, king takes f1, king takes e5, h5, king f5, h4, e6, e5, h3, e4, alright, e6, sorry, e6, e6, h2, e7, h1 equals queen, e8 equals queen. I think we can stop it. I think we can move the king over now that I think about it. Rook takes f1, king takes f1, king takes e5, king g2, king f4. He can't stop us from getting it. Let's see, there, a king rook takes g1, king takes g1, king takes e5, king g2, king f5, king g3, king g6. Or we can just push. Yeah. Is it king? Let's see, king f4. King g2, king g5, and we got it. King f4, h4, king g4, h3, king takes h3. Well, aren't we gonna go king f4 here? Are we doing king f4? Wasn't that our plan? Frank, was that our plan? King f4? It's not that easy. I don't know. I think if we I have a line right here. Well, king f4, king g2. We have king to g5 at that point. We win. Oh, we're looking at a draw? Huh. Let's see, so king f4, king g2. Sorry, king f4, king g2. We can play e5, then he has h4, king g4. I'm thinking it might be a draw. Yeah. I think it is just a draw. I'm not sure. Let me see. So f4, g2, e5, h4, e6, h3, e7, h8. So what move order are you thinking? Okay, let's go with that. Now what? What do you think? Do you think we go, is it, oh, are you going for that? That's an interesting line. Let's see. Let's see. E5, H4, E6, H3, E7, H2, E8 equals queen, H1 equals queen. Queen to I'm wondering if rather than G6 though, I'm wondering if A8 check doesn't work. when king goes to G1, queen queen A1 check, king G2, queen A2 check, king G let's say G2, king G2, or sorry, king G1, and then king G3. I've seen a mate like that before. Let's give it a go. I think it does work. I think it does. Let's take a look to see if that mate actually works. Then if not knight, go back. Queen A. I'm thinking queen A8 is actually best. I've seen many games that have yeah, queen A8 is actually, oh, it is, okay. And then here he comes up, check, and then if king there, you really don't you don't really have anything. Queen G1's check, okay. But there is a oops, there is a come on. If he plays here, this does lead to a mate though, and the only way to avoid not getting mated is to actually lose the queen. What's going on here? It's having a problem again. But you guys, you get the point. You win the queen. And then he has to move up. And then you just come over and grab the queen, and there you go. There we go, and away we go. But what I was showing you was actually a mating pattern. I didn't actually get to use it before, so we got to use it this time. That was cool. It's good to have it in your back pocket though. Let's see, what do we got here? I'm thinking we get, yeah, rook f4. Rook f3, let me see, rook f3. Rook f3, check. And if king h4, king h4, rook f4, check. If king g5, if king g5, I think we have bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4, and rook takes e4, but I'm not sure. I think he still has a pass pawn. Yep, for what? Is that a good, so it's not a rook f4, knight d2, and then bishop f6. But what if he plays g5 though? I guess you could play bishop takes f6 at that point. Oh, so we're setting up a mating net, huh? A mating net, interesting. So we're setting up a mating net. Alright. I'm just trying to see if we're missing anything. Nope. He's got, if we play bishop f6, he has knight f3 check. I'm thinking we may have to potentially play bishop f1, bishop f1 check, knight takes f1, and then bishop f6. I'm thinking we have to play that move first. Otherwise, we have to sack our just want to make sure I'm doing it all right. Rook F, just checking real quick. Rook F1 check. Knight takes, bishop there. G5, bishop takes G5. I don't see anything wrong with it, so. And then bishop F6. Then we take. Then we mate. Hey, we I think we got a 2900 level puzzle. The computer went crazy when we got it. Yeah. Let me see here. It's okay. We'll work through it. Trying to see if we can queen. I'm looking at that is funny. Okay, C1 equals queen. Let's see, queen E4. E4 check. There's king D1. Yeah. I'm trying to see if we queen. He's got queen e4 check, king d1, queen g4 check, king c2, queen c4 check, king b1, queen e4, and then queen c2, queen e2. Well, maybe we can trade, and after the trades, we could play rook f2, king g6. Actually, he might play f7. Then I'd play rook f2 check, king g6, g4, king g7, g3, queens, rook takes f8, king takes f8, and g2, king g. Well, I think we're winning if we queen. Yeah, I think we are winning. I think we got a queen here. I was looking at king king d1, because that covers every weak spot we have, and it keeps us close to our pieces. Because I was also looking at king f1, queen f2, king f1, queen f4, then you have rook f2. So actually, maybe we are better off. I'm thinking king f1. King f1. I don't see any more checks. Oh, yikes. Yikes. That'd be a blunder. Yikes to the nth degree. Ouch. Yeah, it's a good thing we didn't move that. Yikes. I don't know. I'm kind of liking I'm liking king d1. I don't want to. I'm not sure if we go king f1. Yeah, and he'll just keep us. He'll just keep attacking us. Eventually, we'll have to go to king d1 anyways. We'll have to go to king d1 anyways eventually, and so that it just saves us. King d1. See if we go king d1. If queen f3, we have king c2. If king e4 again, king e4. We have king b2, and I think we can cover up after he checks. Not sure. Boy, this is a This is a headache. Oh yeah, then don't you missed one line. Don't forget you missed one. I believe we can't we intercept? Let me see. No, we can't intercept, can we? Let's see. Where is everybody? Let me see here. D1, King H1, check. C2, Queen C2, B1. Yeah, I was thinking Rook. So King D1 is the move, right? Let's go with it. Oh, so that's the wrong move. That's different. Let me see why. Oh, he can't check here because of this pawn. It's this pawn right here. It's guarding that. That's why. And G6. And Rook D8. And there's nothing that can queen now. If he tries here, Queen F8. If he takes here, Queen F8 is check. If he takes, then we take. If Queen F4, Queen takes, and then you can actually just move your king over if you wanted to. Oops, actually, wrong way, sorry. Not sure. That's an interesting one though. Let's do this right now. Let's get this one right, and then we'll call it a day. Let me see here. So bishop takes f3. Bishop takes f4. Bishop takes e4. Knight takes e4. Queen takes e4. Queen takes f5. Queen takes f5. Actually, queen can't take f5. Well, because then the rook would take. So queen takes e4. Rook takes f5. Rook takes f5. Rook takes f5. And I think, well, I may have to be careful because, and then I think rook g1 would have to be played at that point. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. That's why we have to be very careful. So, okay, rook takes f, bishop takes here. Yeah, we can't take the queen. That leads to mate. Bishop takes h5. Knight f2. Check king. Actually, if knight f2 check, king is forced to double check. King g1. Knight h3. I think is, if I'm not mistaken, is mate. Yeah. Yeah, we'll call it on that. Yep. Perfect. Okay, do you have any questions? No, we don't. It's only 4, because we're 25, 28. That's what we started at. Yeah, but so no questions? Okay. I will take that. Okay. I'll take that as a nope. Alrighty. You know what? We have to remember that life is about treasuring your victories and learning from your losses. Remember that mistakes do not define you, it's how you handle the mistake that defines you. There are no limits. There are plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. And I like E. Nightingale. What was said is we become what we think about. So if we think that we can't, like in Rusty, if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Either way, you're right. Basically, that goes back to E. Nightingale's whatever you think about, what you think. Actually, we become what we think about. That's what I mean. We become what we think about. That's in a lot of children's stories. They have a lot of those things that we have to kind of apply to our life as well. So I look for kind of words of wisdom in those kids cartoons, because they do give them every once in a while. They'll give you one of those aha moments, like when I found this one too. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks. But I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. That's what I mean. So he doesn't fear the Bruce Lee didn't fear the person who did 10,000 kicks. What that means, it's individual kicks. He feared the person who did one kick 10,000 times precisely, which is boom, 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 boom. Because when it came to that kick, that one person knew how to basically not KO. And so that's why we do tactics, is so that we can get better and see those kind of ideas, and get our, as they say in Magic School Bus, you have to get messy and make mistakes and learn new things. That type of thing in Magic School Bus is pretty cool too. There is no mistakes. There's only learning. That's what Miss Frizzle told her students, was that it's all about learning. So the only time you're not learning it is if you're not doing. Basically, that's if we want to go back to what Bruce Lee said again. Knowing is not enough. You must apply. So you can know, but unless you apply it, it's like then you're sitting on as in sports. Let's say a basketball. You're like the tallest and the best basketball player, right? But what happens is you're like, I'm just gonna watch and enjoy, but the coach wants you to play. That's all there is. You're built, you're ready, and you're willing to go out there, but you won't apply yourself. That's what happens when you don't work on tactics and you're not well rounded in chess. And you can have the willing to, I'm sitting there thinking I'm willing, I'm going to get out there someday, but unless you actually get out there and dribble that ball and make that winning hoop or free throw that turns the tide for your team, then you're not doing, you're just always willing to do. But the hardest thing to do, as what Yazzer says, is this: every long journey begins with one small step. Every long journey begins with one small step. And you know what? We have to remember that the Lord gives points and the Lord takes the points. But will you still love Him if that happens? Like, we're down 4 points. You know what? It doesn't affect that I don't love the Lord. Because you know what, we're going to get those points back. It's a trying of your faith. He doesn't tempt, he tries your faith to see if you're strong, like in the 300 in the history books that withstood the whole Persian army until they were betrayed. But besides that, they probably would have held the whole entire Persian army off. So 300 had the indomitable will to win against a 1,000,000-man army. So if that's possible, we can do it. So We just have to not let the I always think of the betraying part is our mind telling us we can't do it. So don't let that betraying voice in your mind say you can't. Say how can I, and change that I can't to how can I, and it'll change your whole perspective on looking at the chessboard. Because then you'll find moves that are amazing. Um, well, I always like the Tigger thing when we sit down and study, and they're like, "What you doing?" One of your friends asks you, "What you doing?" I'm a chest cruncher. You could always say that, and they'll be like, "What's a chest cruncher?" Well, you want to hear what a chest cruncher is? Yeah, tell us what a chest cruncher is. We hang up our coat, we hang up our hat, we sit down and study when most won't we do, and that makes all the difference. That's a chess cruncher. And would you like to learn chess? You can say that to your friend, and then you can introduce them to the world of chess. And you know what? Who knows? You might be training the next Bobby Fischer. You know, you never know. That person you train could catch on like wildfire, and then boom. You know what? That friend you have could who knows, win the U.S. championship someday. You never know. So you just gotta always keep moving forward. And with that, we have to say, as Wesley So says, through the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening. And Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll push for the 2600 level marker. Had a couple hiccups. We learned from it. Need to follow, if I write on the board thing or the chat, if I need to follow that, move by move by move down the road, and we'll get there. So, but you know what? We're always learning, and as long as we're learning, we're winning. So that's all that matters. Great job. Go Team Chess Cruncher. Hoorah, be blessed. And I'll see you tomorrow. So keep studying chess and sharing the love of chess and the Lord. Bye bye. Be blessed.